I'm Jim Farmer. I'm a software developer by day, but as I was telling my friend Mark earlier, it's just a means to support my habits these days, so I'm going to talk about one of my many habits. The word cross has many meanings in the English language. It can be used as a noun, a verb, an adjective, or an adverb. It's a religious object, a state of mind, or even a boxer's punch. But to cyclists, it means one thing: cyclocross, and maybe cross-dressing as well. Cyclocross, as its name implies, is a cross between road cycling and mountain biking. It was started in the early 1900s as a means to maintain cycling fitness during the harsh winter months in Europe. Although still a Eurocentric sport, it has established an ardent following in the US over the past few decades. Northern and Central Europe is cyclocross heaven, but Belgium is the mecca of cross, and crowds are in the tens of thousands at many races. Racers like Sven Ness, the reigning world champion and my personal favorite, or superstars like our Kobe Bryants and Peyton Mannings. Cyclocross is not just a sport, it's an event. In Europe, professional cross races are like NASCAR here. With the World Championships held in Louisville last year, the first time ever in the US, cross is picking up steam in the New World. The Belgians and Dutch kick butt, but the US racers are gaining ground each year. One of the most attractive parts of cross is the fact that fans can literally smack racers on the butt as they go by, and maybe throw some beer on them to boot. It happens. The short self-contained courses make it easy for spectators to check out racers every inch of the race venue. Races lasting anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes take place on courses typically less than 2 miles long. Racers repeat this circuitous route, and officials inform them of the number of laps remaining as the end of the race nears. Parks, as you can see, make ideal locations for cross races here in the US. Because it's a mix of multiple cycling disciplines, cross races involve a variety of terrains. Pavement, grass, and dirt are part of all cyclocross races, but gravel, water, sand, and just about anything else a race director can throw at participants are also fair game. Bike handling skills are definitely required. Cyclocross, true to its history, is an off-season pursuit. Fall and winter in the US, southeast US, are typically mild, but the conditions in places like Belgium tend to be a little bit harsher. Dirt turns to mud, and snow and ice often rule the day. Bike handling is severely tested in these conditions. Varying terrain is just part of the challenge, though. 18-inch high barriers, sometimes on hills, welcome riders on each lap. Stairs, flyovers, and hills too steep to ride are also commonplace. Cross racers must dismount and remount their steeds, often during a race. Seconds can be gained or lost based on these skills. Cyclocross bikes look similar to road bikes, but have slight differences in their geometry and their components to handle the more adverse conditions. The most notable difference is the addition of knobby tires for traction. Mountain bikes are often used by beginners but are forbidden in the professional circuits. Okay, you might be asking why in God's name would anybody do something like this? Well, it does require some masochistic tendencies. But if you like to ride a bike and you like to have a good time while you compete, then this may be the sport for you. These folks, by the way, are following my rule of race well or race stupid. But you don't have to race in order to be a part of cyclocross. Fan participation is a huge component of cross. Encouraging racers with cowbells, profanity, and even some monetary compensation are par for the course. Money is often left on the barriers, requiring a little bit of work from the riders, but pun intended, sex sells. And if you hear from my previous PKNCHA14 presentation on underground racing, you'll know that alcohol plays a prominent part in my racing habits. Taking a beer hand up can mean the difference between crowd support and crowd disapproval. My teammate Ryan here never misses a hand up. Despite efforts by yours truly, dressing up at cross races hasn't quite taken off here in the Southeast, but I'm still working on it. The Pacific Northwest, home of the hipsters and also the home of some big-time cyclocross races, is also home to the kings and queens of cross costuming for fans and racers alike. Cyclocross has the perfect blend of absurdity and seriousness, at least for my twisted taste. The atmosphere is both relaxed and tense, depending on how you go into it. Personally, I like the fact that I can work myself into a competitive lather, and when inevitably I'm getting my butt whooped, start taking hand-ups from the crowd and enjoying the ride. Oh yeah, cyclocross has chicks too. Women's cross racing has really picked up steam in the Southeast, and it's the fastest growing segment of the sport. And just like having women's night at the local watering hole, bringing in more women brings in more men. Funny how that works. And sorry fellas, but that hottie's taken. And it's a sport for all ages. Racers are categorized according to sex, age, and/or experience. Different categories race at different times, so you shouldn't be afraid to come out and mix things up, even if you've never been in a bike race before. You might want to practice a little at first though. Some bike skills are definitely required. Speaking of skills, we host cyclocross practices every Wednesday night here in town. Bring whatever bike you got, a helmet and your big girl panties, and we'll show you how it's done. Look for the event page on Crackbook for more info, or message me and I'll hook you up. Every skill set or skill level is welcome, and we promise not to bite. If this kind of stuff piques your interest, there just happens to be a cyclocross race right here in town tomorrow. Come on over to White Oak Park in Red Bank from 12 to 5 to watch and/or race in the first of 6 local cross races put on by our friends at Hub Endurance. Bring your cowbell and a bunch of singles if you're spectating. One last thing about cyclocross, it's all about love, as shown here by my two teammates, Nick and Ryan. There we go. But there's nothing wrong with that. So come on out tomorrow to White Oak Park. There'll be enough love to go around. One of our hosts, Amy Christian, will be out there racing tomorrow. And by the way, I did this presentation for the sole purpose of showing this picture in public.